what made me feel successful. So these things that people assume makes you successful, no, it just makes you comfortable. Successful is life. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but you could be failing at life.
See, for
So,
me, the thing that I
I mean,
love about this topic of jealousy is
hmm
that it's not just a surface type
no,
of
it's an
thing
umbrella.
that we say. This thing is really deep. Like, you have parents that are jealous of their children,
hmm
and that's another trait that you obviously don't have. You just talked about you're successful because you have two daughters.
Yes,
But
I'm successful
there's parents who
because
are literally jealous of their children.
yes, like my wife has her master's degree. That makes me successful because that means I picked a woman that has goals and has aspirations. And
Even though
this
that's
one
not your degree, that ain't your
it doesn't
degree, but
matter. It doesn't need to
you're
be my degree.
successful because that's awesome.
I married a woman that has dreams and aspirations. That makes me successful. I didn't marry a woman that wants to be in a party in the clubs all night, shaking her behind, wearing revealing clothes, and don't want to take care of kids. You see what I'm trying to say? That's
Hmm.
success because it's life success. Money doesn't mean nothing. We can have our kids and our relationship, and we can live in a hut. We still will view life as a success. So this is why there's nothing that can make me jealous because I have all the things that I want, and it's not nothing material.
So are you also saying that we may need to, well, you already said it before. You said we need to look within when it talks about jealousy, but I think you just
You
unpacked it because you're
have to
saying
look
that
within.
we're all more successful than we probably give ourselves credit for.
Exactly.
Mm.
See, again, it's the scope on what people view as success. Like, look at Oprah Winfrey. She's worth $2 to $3 billion. She don't have no kids. She don't have no grandkids. It doesn't matter if you want them or not. Her life is not complete as a woman as the American dream. The real American dream is to get married, buy a house, have a successful career, have children, send them off to college, and see your grandkids, retire, and have a good time. That's the American dream. But in those guidelines, it's have children, have grandchildren, and watch that whole maturation progress. So here you have a person that everybody think is so successful. She has $2 billion. She can travel wherever she would. She can do this. She can do that. She has no kids. She has no offspring. She has nobody to leave that money to. Like that's a form of failure. Like she didn't succeed at life. And if she couldn't have kids, she didn't go out and adopt no kids. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Look at Michael Jackson. All of that fun, all of that money, and it looked like he never had fun in his life. He had
Yeah,
to
he couldn't
pay.
sleep.
Yeah, he couldn't sleep. He had to pay people to have kids for him. Like, that's not fun. That's not successful. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, people's perception of success is different. And the real success is the family that you create. Like, to watch my children go from not being able to walk to being able to walk to being able to go to school to actually, like my oldest daughter, to watch her, I delivered her. To watch me deliver her to right now be in mock trials to be a lawyer, do you know how that's successful feeling for me? Do you think I care about money? You see what I'm trying to say?
Wait, when you just said you delivered her, what did you
Yes.
mean by that?
When she came out of her mother's vagina, she fell right into my hands with the doctor. I cut the umbilical cord. Real fathers deliver their children.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
at the end of the
So that was a
day,
big deal for you. You
of course
had to
it was
be
a
there.
big deal for me. I had to be there. There's no other way. But the point I'm trying to stress to you is that's successful to me in my life, not material things, not money. So when you say I wasn't only successful, I challenge that and I tell you I was.
Mm.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
So if you got to, just for summary, so you just bought a pair of Jordans. I'm in your crew. You just bought a pair of Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
I should just be like, yo,
I don't
those
wear Jordans,
dope.
but I'm listening.
Okay, my bad. Okay. I don't wear Jordans.
I just don't
either.
like to promote. I don't like to promote nothing that I'm not doing or I'm like.
Okay, so I don't wear Jordans
I
either.
do have a pair of Jordans, but I they were a gift and I wore them because they matched my outfit. But me supporting him, no.
All right, so let me get a different one.
We just bought a pair of sneakers.
Okay, you bought a pair of sneakers. They dope.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's clocking them. Everybody's like, yo, how'd he get that? Yo, those is dope. You're basically saying it would be foolish. No, not foolish. It's a form of jealousy if I go out the next week. I probably can't even afford it. I do whatever I need to do to go out and get a pair of Jordans too.
No, that's not jealousy. You might have been inspired. The jealousy part is wishing I didn't have them so you can have them. That's what's jealous about it.
Mm.
They didn't make one pair of sneakers. They made the sneakers in abundance. So at the end of the day, you're entitled to them too. Like we get caught up in that too. Like,
but what if I can't afford it, and the only reason I get it is because you got it? Like I can't afford a pair. I can't afford them.
That's inspiration. As long as it's not coming from a place of malice, that don't mean it's jealousy. Now, if you continue to follow every trend that I do, that might not be say jealous, but that might say like, you look up to a person or, it all depends on the energy. Again, the energy you put out towards the situation will determine if you're jealous or not.
So there's two types of people then. There's somebody in what you just said.
There's more than two types of people.
Man, that was good. So if my intentions are good, like everything you get, I get. But it's in like, yo, this dude, like, I'm doing it in love. But there's other people who'll do it and act like it's not even that. They'll have a different type of energy towards that.
Like, I'm going to give you a prime example. Jay-Z be inspired by a lot of people. But that don't mean he's jealous of them. You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z will see something manifest, and it could be lucrative, and he's going to go and do the same thing. Like, for instance, when Apple bought Dr. Dre's streaming company for the $1 billion, I think it was $4 billion, whatever the number was, Jay-Z was inspired by that, and he went and bought Tidal. When Puff started Sean John, Jay-Z was inspired by that. He went and started Rockaware. That's just how it is. Now, Jay-Z is seeing Nas make all this money in investment firms and technology. He's creating an investment firm for startup companies and technology. That just means he's inspired by the greats, which in turn is affording him a mass amount of wealth. You get what I'm trying to say?
Of course, man. The more you talk, the more you're really showing me that there's a very fine line between the two, and it's really the energy that we cannot see but we can feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what you're saying. That's good.
Mm-hmm. But see, that goes into all aspects of life. It's not just jealousy. That goes into anything. Like I said, like you said, a mother can actually give birth to a child and then see that child's life turned out how the mother wanted her life to be, and she can be jealous of her own child and have that same type of bad energy, and it's only because she has something that she loves that the child has. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So again, it's the energy, but it transfers over to all walks of life, and that's why I say energy is the higher power, because it's like the energy that you put out in your universe, in your circumference, in your life, is the energy you're going to get back. If you say to yourself as a child, say for instance, if you said when you begin to think and you begin to understand how the world works or how things work, when you say to yourself, I want to be a media tycoon, and you start that path and you put the energy forward to actually be successful at that, then and only then will your path begin, because now your energy is leading you towards your goal.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Studying is energy. Prayer is energy. Practicing is energy. That's the energy that you're putting into whatever it is you feel you want. And that's how life progresses. Now, life can degress by the other energy, which is like in terms of political correctness, the devil. If you say to yourself as a child, and you want to, and you understand how the world works, and you say, I want to be a criminal, or I want to kill people, or I want to sell drugs, or I want to be a bad person. If that's the energy that's in your brain, and you put energy to fruition, now that starts your path down the path of destruction. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
That's where you either get killed, go to jail, or have the worst life ever. So
okay,
it's your energy that you put forward in your life.
All right. So that was really good, but I want to get into just some hip hop, and I want to get into some sports before we get up out of here.
Okay.
So as far as the hip hop,
mm-hmm.
I did see you just posted on your Instagram, Jules Santana, Dipset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He got a new song out. You said it's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Santana from that we all love and know, or is it like what made you post it that it's fire?
Well, number one, that's a good friend of mine. Like we're actually we came up together. I'm older than him, so I had him around me when he was first coming up in the game, and it's a part of it is support, but part of it is my honest opinion, because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have posted it. I don't do that. But at the same token, when you say, is it the Santana we've grown to love, or is it something else, you have to understand, artists of his caliber do grow as artists. Like, he has a lot of, things going on. So maybe he can't, focus on music as much as he can, but he can, because he's, super talented. Like, there was one time, I would say in 2003, 2004, he might have had 300 songs in they had things called DATs, DATs. And now, they have boxes. They have boxes that you put your music in and stuff. So it was they were called DATs. So I remember one time he had 300 songs in his DAT. And this was before he was even putting out, major albums and stuff. So then I remember his studio got raided. He might have had 1,000 songs by then. So he's a song maker. He can make songs extremely fast and high quality songs. So the talent is always going to be there. I say that to say that. The talent is always going to be there, and he can rap his ass off. He has.
Yo, there was a point where